Hello and welcome to Down the Track. Today I have two special guests, Yousuf Ismail from Saudi Arabia and Mr. Don Abrar Aziz from Chicago. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And
Doing well here, bro.
so we have our four semi-finalists, although we still have the Pakistan-Bangladesh game, but that looks unlikely, and I think it'll be Australia, India, England, and New Zealand in the semi-final. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think the places need to change. I think India needs to finish on top. Australia needs to lose to South Africa so that they play New Zealand. But I think that's the four. And you never know. Pakistan, they're the unpredictable team.
500
They hit
tomorrow,
all
huh?
out. 500 tomorrow. Bangladesh 100 all out.
Yeah. Like honestly, if Pakistan win tomorrow, it'll be. I think they should just look to win. Forget about the run rate because if they win, then net run rate you can't do much. Yeah, they have made a mistake against West Indies, but apart from that, at least it'll be a decent tournament for them if they win the game. Yusuf, what are your thoughts?
I think that they left it too late. If they had beaten West Indies or even lost by a respectable margin, then they would have genuine, you know, cause for being upset. Oh, we went off on net run rate and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, they did it to themselves. They kept it too late, and I don't care if I'm getting forwards and messages saying that Pakistan's going to score 640 for two, and these guys are going to be all out for like 100, 150. The fact of the matter is that Pakistani cricket needs a reset. I think I'm not an expert, but I feel they're local. They have to work from the bottom up. Like they don't have a leader in the team. Sarfaraz, I don't think is a leader, right? And who else is there? People are saying Imad Wasim. That guy is so unfit. He can't run across the boundary to stop for four properly, right? Maybe Babar Azam, but it's like when you have that kind of situation, when apart from the captain there are no other leaders, I think you need to reset the entire system and you start from there. That's my opinion. Like look at Bangladesh, right? They occasionally used to beat like once or twice big teams in the big tournaments. They beat Australia, Pakistan in '99, was it? I think,
Yeah,
and they beat England recently. So it's like that's great. But now you look at their team. Yeah, it took them 15 years, but they are truly ready to take on the top eight. Like there's no question. They're in the top eight, but they should be up there fourth, fifth, sixth. They can do it. So I think Pakistan needs a reset. They have the talent. They just need the structure and management.
definitely. And Don, what are
I
your
think,
yeah?
yeah, I was just saying, I think Mickey Arthur needs to take a step over here. He needs to figure out who in the dressing room is one of the guys who he thinks can possibly lead because Sarfaraz is going nowhere and he's only getting older. He just needs to figure out someone who maybe a Babar Azam, maybe Imamul Haq. I don't know who he thinks is good over there, and give him some time because there's four more years for the next World Cup. Give him time to develop himself, figure it out, and they have the talent. Like Yusuf said, they have the talent. They just need to take one step at a time. And I think if they have some proper management, if Mikyata can find a good leader, I think they have some good scope for solid improvement in the
Definitely.
near future as well because the talent is there.
Definitely, but I don't think Mickey Arthur is going to stay from what I've been hearing and everything. I think he's going and they're going to do a complete new, like a complete wash up and change the whole management. But let's see how it goes. But like coming back to the semi-finals, England they were almost out of it and now they're back with a bang. It might be a India-England semi-final. What are your thoughts on that?
Yusuf, you want to go?
I think it'll be a close match. I don't think like I'm someone who's very not pessimistic in general, but I always look at it. It's like, oh, we lost. Like, what can we do differently? I think that it'll be a close game. I don't think it's the ideal game for India, but then again, India tends to surprise when you push them. As much as they say when you corner Pakistan, watch out. When India is under the pressure that they're in right now, I think that India could win it. It's not a guaranteed thing. England are favorites. I think Michael Vaughan say it? If you beat India, you win the World Cup, and
Yeah.
they've beaten India, and they're gonna have to beat them again. So if England win, it's England's tournament to lose. Even though Australia is playing well, there's always home advantage, right? Being in your own conditions, and who knows? I think you were discussing it privately, but they might even change the pitches again and make it like seem conducive pitches and stuff like that because they're allowed to or something. I'm not sure of the details, but
That's up to the
I think
ICC, but yeah, it depends.
so. I think India England is going to be the semi-final. I don't see Australia losing to South Africa unless they really slip up, and if they do, and India beat Sri Lanka, India New Zealand, India's through. I think India England is going to be the final, or Australia England. I don't see India Australia obviously playing in the final.
Yeah. Don, I have a question regarding England and India both actually. How much do you think India will miss Dhawan? Because we saw Jason Roy is back into the England team and he's firing on all cylinders, and I think that was the difference. Maybe yes, Bearshaw scored the 200s, but the start he got with Roy, that made the difference in both the games.
Big loss for India. I still think we look very unsettled since he's gone, especially in the batting front. I just don't see us. KL Rahul has been performing like he scored a decent 40 I think against in the first game he played. He scored a 70 odd even in the last game, but he's just not looking the same. I mean, Dhawan was able to give when Rohit was taking a little time. Dhawan was able to give that start, that beautiful century against Australia. It's just very sad to see like such a big player for us miss out on such a big occasion for us. But definitely Jason Roy is looking solid since he's come back. He's given Bairstow I think Bairstow is taking it upon himself and not being able to perform when he was not available, when Roy was not there. And I think Rohit is doing the same thing, but he's also performing. But I think still Dhawan missing out is huge.
Yeah,
It's very big for
puts
us.
more pressure on Kohli and Rohit. You can see in the approach they take a lot of time in the initial overs, the Indians. Whereas England now with Roy back, they're going bang bang. They're not with Vince. It was a bit slow, but now they're going bang from the first ball itself. So that is probably the thing. And one interesting topic I wanted to bring up because both of you have contrasting views on this. MS Dhoni's approach when it comes to batting. Don, you can go first. No, Yousuf, you can go first.
Yeah, let Yousuf go first.
We have three wicket keepers in the team, and you can argue between Dinesh Karthik and Dhoni. But did you see Rishabh Pant play against who did they play in the last game?
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. It's
Yeah.
like he scored 43, 44 of like more than run a ball. It's like, and he keeps well. He's proven in tests in Australia. He did a fantastic job. Dhoni, I think Michael Clark said, don't, rule out Dhoni. He's just relaxing for the semi-final and final. He'll show up. But I think people give Dhoni is going down the line of Sachin Tendulkar, extending his career for God knows why. He should have retired when he retired from tests, I feel, or at least last year. This is not his game anymore. He might have the mind. Yes, if 12 men could coach, I would always pick Dhoni until he was 75. His brain is fantastic. He's a crazy captain. But his physical attributes are letting him down. He's old and he doesn't have that ability to just turn it on automatically, right? It takes time. You have to build. And even in the last game against Bangladesh, it's like he's not giving the strike to Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. It's like, take the single. 1 run counts. Yeah. This is ODI cricket. India beat Bangladesh by 2 runs in the Asia Cup because they stopped them. It was like it was a 2-run victory, or they won by 1 run. It's like, he's like, I can handle it. He's trying to portray to the world that, yeah, I'm still Mahendra Singh Dhoni, but he's not. That's just my opinion. Like, I don't think he's got it anymore.
But don't you think...
He might prove me wrong.
Yeah.
He might prove me wrong. He might prove me wrong. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, on the evidence, Rishabh Pant should play in front of Dhoni. Now it's less relevant because we've lost Vijay Shankar, we've lost Shekhar Dhawan. We need him in the team. There's no one else. I agree. I'm not going to doubt that. But at the beginning of this tournament, I would have picked Rishabh Pant straight away, or at least Dinesh Karthik if no one got injured.
But now in a World Cup semi-final, suppose it goes till the last 2-3 overs, India is bowling. You need like 30 of 17 balls. Dhoni's input, do you think it'll be vital, or do you think Kohli would have handled it himself without Dhoni?
No, Dhoni needs to be there. I agree, but then that requires literally India playing with 10 batsmen, or assuming that they are, and someone has to cover the runs. I'm being honest. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but you need Rishabh Pant. If he's playing in the same squad, he has to pick up the slack for Dhoni. It's like, bhai, you play, you do whatever you want. I will cover up the runs because we need your mind on the field. I agree.
Yeah, very good points. And Don, I'll go to you. A lot of Pakistani fans, they thought Dhoni was doing it on purpose so that they don't qualify. But then we saw the next game against Bangladesh. He did the exact same thing. There was nothing new. He took his sweet time, put pressure on the other batsmen, and who got out. Like, so, what are your thoughts? What do you think? As a first, let me ask you as a batsman. Don't talk about his captaincy because I know that that's there.
As a batsman, he's struggling. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it at all. Like he doesn't seem to be placing he's not getting the middle of the bat. He's hitting the fielders a lot. It's not the Dhoni that we know. The 2011 World Cup when he really like that finals he came out. He really took it upon himself. He got us a nice big victory. He is struggling, no doubt about that. Definitely as a batsman. But my heart always goes out to Dhoni, and you know this. I mean, I just think that I just think he needs to play at number four. It makes so much sense. There was someone who tweeted Rahul Dravid kept the wickets for us to maintain the balance. It's a perfect situation for us to maintain the balance. Dhoni has the one spot available for him. He should just take it number four. Bring in the likes of Pandya and Dinesh Karthik who are proper finishers. Let them handle 5, 6, and 7, and then we go on from there.
But I have a
With
counter for that.
that
I
pace.
have a counter for that. In the last game, Punt came at number 4. He scored 48, 47 of those
Correct.
balls, and he gave us the momentum. Imagine Dhoni came and started consuming dot balls. We might have not reached 300.
Absolutely, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, if we had Dhoni, like the team needs to sit down. They need to figure this out. They be like, okay, what's happening in up front? Rohit and Virat are taking a little bit more time to settle themselves down and scoring at a lower pace than we are used to seeing them. So they know, let them go all guns blazing. We have Dhoni to come in and settle the innings down if needed. That way, it gives the freedom to the top three and then the bottom three after Dhoni. So it's like let the six batsmen handle a lot of pressure. Dhoni's your stable guy in the middle. He takes care of one end. Everyone else can go bam bam in the other end. That's my opinion. It could be wrong, but that's what I think should happen because
I
I think
think
he's
that's
your most stable batsman right now. He's not going to lose his wicket.
Stable, huh?
He's
Yeah,
not going to lose his wicket. He's not going to lose his wicket.
yeah, it's
He's
not
not.
gonna.
He's probably not scoring your runs, but he's not going to lose the wicket.
I think they should play him at number 4 against Sri Lanka just to test that theory. Play Rishabh Pant at maybe 5 or 6, DK at 5 or 6, rotate them, and see what he does. Will he consume? Will he literally stop the innings? If they're like 180 for 2 in 33 overs, will it be 200 for 3 in 44? Give it a shot. You're in. You qualified at 1 or 2 or 3. It doesn't make a difference. Yeah, you could go for 1 and that's safer, but I would say see him, try him out. Maybe he scores 50 of 70 balls. It's better than not trying it and being in a new situation, right?
But yeah.
He's proven in this World Cup. If you want to finish an innings, he's not your guy. He's proven that.
But what is stopping him in the IPL? We just concluded. We saw him win games for Chennai in the end. He hit. He was playing at a better strike rate. I know it's a T20 game, but is it because he's worried about the Indian tail? He doesn't want to give away his wicket. He's being too cautious.
There's definitely something going on. It's not the Dhoni that we're used to seeing. I mean, I'd love to go get into his mind and see what he's thinking, but no one has ever gotten in there, so we're never going to be able to find out
Yeah,
answer.
true, true.
But but there's something that's going on. He's taking a little bit more responsibility, and that's why I think just for the sake of him being in the team, and we need him, and we have injuries with Dhawan and experienced player like Dhawan missing out. I think having him there, and like I said, let the first three go bam, let the last three go bam, let him be in the middle, just take care of it. Just take care of the innings. If it's slipping up, he can help the likes of Pant and Hardik Pandya and just motivate them to be there to get us to a par score because that's what we need at this point. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
You still have
I
something
think
to say.
I think if that's the strategy, then he needs to be told, okay, take your time, but rotate the strike. Don't hog
Yes,
the strike.
that's the one thing I cannot understand.
Take a
Like, for the
single.
life of me, for the life of me, I can't understand why he's not taking a single.
Take a single.
Bothered me.
Okay, not no. At that time, okay, fine. He doesn't want Bhuvi to face it. He wants to finish it. He thinks mathematically, I'm going to score more than Bhuvi over 6 balls. Fine. But in the middle of the innings, if he comes in at 83 for 2, 100 for 2, 140 for 2, don't hit. Score 50 or 50. Look at Virat Kohli. That's one of his greatest strengths. Even though he doesn't come across as a big hitter, he doesn't hit 5, 6 sixes an innings. His stats are more like 9 boundaries, 1 6, 10 boundaries, 0 6s. He rotates the strike, and
rotation.
he's a genius at it. And Dhoni can still run. It's not like okay, he's not running because he's old or anything. His running between the wickets is still good, better than a lot of people in the Indian team. So if he does that, he needs to rotate the strike. I don't know if he can, but all of that is still worth it for India for his mind in the field because you see it yourself.
Definitely.
He, he's he's the one bringing the changes. Like you put the camera on him, Every ball he's saying, okay, do this, come in, do like this. He's always busy on the field. And
Yeah,
Kohli still hasn't gotten that mature, cool head. Kohli is still very hot.
it might be key in the semi-finals. So just to round things up, we're still not sure, but assuming it's a India-England semi-final and Australia-New Zealand semi-final, predictions: who's gonna win the semi-finals? Don, you can go first.
Australia definitely beating New Zealand comfortably. Also, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't think New Zealand, unless New Zealand springs a surprise. But for me, Australia for sure, and then India to beat England with Virat Kohli's century and Dhoni finishing it off in style. Virat Kohli's due a big century.
Yeah, he's due. He's due.
So Virat Kohli century, Dhoni finishing off in style. Don't forget that spot.
I'm writing it down right now. Yeah, and
I think I don't see it being anything but India England semi-final and Australia and New Zealand. I agree with Don. Australia to beat New Zealand because New Zealand are kind of in a slump right now. They've lost their last 3 games. Australia is playing very well. They've bounced back after India. India England. My heart says India, but my mind says England. I don't know why, but the toss is crucial. But for the sake of contrast, I'll say Australia England final and
oof,
England to win it.
just before the Ashes, that'll be intense. But yeah,
I'm saying India Australia finals and then India taking 2003 revenge, scoring 316 the first innings and beating Australia by 2. That would be beautiful. Saurav Ganguly coming out and pulling his shirt out.
Pull off his jacket.
Whatever he has, jacket, shirt, sub.
I like the sound of that. I'll catch you guys before the semi-finals once the lineup is confirmed. But thank you so much for joining me today. And yes, you wanna my prediction?
Yeah, what's your prediction?
I don't know what's gonna happen, but
You can't put just both of us on line. You have to give us something.
my heart says India is going to win by 3 runs against England, and they'll beat Australia by like 6 wickets. Dhoni to finish it off with the six, but
After all that criticism,
but I won't be surprised even if New Zealand or any of these teams win the World Cup. Like whether it's New Zealand, England, Australia. I know New Zealand have had a slump, but out of these 4 teams, I won't be surprised if any of them win it. They are all good teams on their day. They can all win their matches. Yes, New Zealand have been weak in the last 2-3 games, but don't count them out. And same thing with England, India, and Australia. I won't be surprised. I'm going with India, but I won't be surprised if any of the any of these 4 teams win it. And Australia, I think, will be the favorites just because of they have 4 or 5 players who won the World Cup in 2015. That will count, especially if the game gets close. They have that World Cup winning mentality in terms of Maxwell, Smith, Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, who have already played in World Cup squads and won the World Cup. So Australia will be dangerous, and England on their day, as we've seen, they won 2 back-to-back knockouts. So this is just 2 more games for them. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, we'll catch up very soon, just before the semi-finals, and get your thoughts closer after the India Sri Lanka game, hopefully. And thank you so much for joining. And we'll see you soon. Take care.
thanks. Bye.